the gate open, and this lady says, "Hey, I'll play a game with you." It's Pickle Ball Pam. So picture this. You're studying really hard for optometry school, and there's not really any assignments this week because it's the first week of the semester. And so you and your friends decide to go get together and do something fun. One of the days of the week, we didn't have class until 11 a.m. It was like a miracle, right? This never happens. We usually have class at 8. One day we have class at 11. And one of my friends, Ashton, he says, "Hey, why don't we go play some pickleball?" Now, pickleball, it's a pretty important sport around here right now. And it's like the new upcoming sport that everyone's talking about. So I say, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna maybe take some time off of making YouTube videos or doing homework. We have this cool like VR slit lamp thing we had to do that week. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna go play some good old-fashioned pickleball with my friends. So, pickleball and I have a strange relationship because I grew up in Washington State. Now, for those of you who are new to pickleball and don't know this, it's okay. But pickleball was invented in Washington State. So I actually grew up playing pickleball as a part of my like PE curriculum. Like I would own people at pickleball growing up. I was like king of the court pickleball player in my PE class. Like I loved pickleball. I was a pickleball master, right? With those little ping pong paddles. We literally in PE we probably played with ping pong paddles and wiffle balls, which basically is still just the same thing as pickleball. But now everyone has evolved with it. It's like when I said I was agreeing to play pickleball, I did not know what I was agreeing to. These people are amazing at pickleball. So we pull up, and it's like this park that's like a few miles away from Midwestern University, and we pull up, and there's this traffic around it. I was like, whoa, there's like a school nearby? No, everyone was going to the park. The park was full. It was like, I don't know, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. on a Thursday, and this park was full. And there was this courts, especially for pickleball, which is unheard of. Like we just set up a little net or like a tennis court maybe. But there's these pickleball courts at the park. And next to the pickleball courts, there's a tent. You know, like those tents that they have at track meets and cross-country practices and stuff, were for registration for a pickleball tournament. And there are these old Karens, right? And they are going at it. There's this whole tournament going on of pickleball. But luckily, there's one extra court that was open. And that's where me and the boys, we stationed ourselves there. We got some dental students that showed up. We had some optometry students show up. We're there. We're going to play some pickleball. Now, I go to try to unleash my skills. And I'm a pickleball player by trade. So I pull up with this pickleball set that I had, right? We had these like generic wiffle balls. But I showed up. I had a wooden paddle. That was my first mistake. I show up with a wooden pickleball paddle to all of this. This is a man's game of pickleball going on here. They had these synthetic paddles. They were like, I don't know where they got these things, but I thought I was cool because I had picked up a pickleball paddle, and I didn't actually get a good deal. It was like $40 for 2 paddles and some wiffle balls. I thought it was a pretty good deal, but on Amazon you can find it for cheaper. But no, these people were, $100 paddles right here. They were going. These were people who I didn't know were pickleball masters that were going to class with me, that were getting A's on the test that I was getting B's on, right? These guys, they're not just smart in class, they were smart in pickleball. And they were street smart. So pickleball has these crazy rules where you'll have the first person serving, you have to serve 2 times per game, and then you switch, and you can only, it's like rally scoring, so you can only score if you served. And there's a kitchen. It's crazy, but you can't step inside the kitchen. And apparently there's maneuvers where you and your partner move up and move back depending on what time of the rally it is. And so it was like crazy. So I step onto the court, and first off, I'm with my friend Austin. right? So he's there with me, and I thought, okay, I'm just like everyone else here. Just haven't played pickleball in a while, and it'll be okay. I made us lose so bad. It was like, they played to 11. It was like 11-2 at one point. I don't know, like 10-2 at one point. I think we came back and it was like 11-7. But no thanks to me. I like lost a game for us. I don't know. I don't know what was going over me, but my pickleball genius, which is basically, my genius is just being able to hit it back, right? No spins, no anything. I could just hit it back. But people were dropping it on me with like a crazy backspin that I had no idea what to do with. I would try to get it. I would get flustered and like hit it harder, and then it would just go out. There were so many things that I was just doing wrong, and people had like these spin serves that they were doing. It was crazy. Moral of the story was I made us lose. And then we played a few more times, and I made every single team that I was on lose until I was paired with Cameron. Now, if you don't know about Cameron, I don't know, he's pretty world-renowned at this point. He is the pickleball master. He and the boys, these are like built guys, who would go play basketball at the gym or something, but they would play pickleball at the gym instead, right? He'd said back in undergrad, he and the boys would play pickleball and they'd go at it. And so he was like crazy. And we're making rotations, and I was on his team. And I was serving first, and I actually made the first 5 points, guys. It was me. I did it. I made the first 5 points, and I was, right? We were feeling it. Like, as soon as I was on this good guys team, we were winning. Then we were up 10-4, I think it was, and it was game point, right? I make this, and we win. I whiff, what is that, 5-6 points in a row, and we are tied 10-10. I was making us lose. And so I was so embarrassed, but when it finally came down to it, I just let Cameron hit all the balls, and we ended up winning. So that was the only time I ever won. And so, okay, everyone's, class is going to get started soon. It's about an hour before. People are going to go shower and get to class. But I was like, no, let's do one more round, because I know, I'm having fun. I'm one of those people that likes to play for fun. And if I start to play to win, that's when I start to do badly. And there's 3 other people left, and so we needed one more person to stay and play one more game. And this is where Pickle Ball Pam comes into the picture. So we hear the gate open, and this lady says, "Hey, I'll play a game with you." No. You do not know what just happened. It's Pickleball Pam. She shows up. First thing she does is look at my racket, and she says, "Oh, that's a cute little racket. It looks like it's missing the little string in the ball so that you can play on it." Just because it was wooden. And so, my pride's hurt already. But I'm like, okay. You know what they do? They stick me on her team. So I am on a team with Pickleball Pam, and I couldn't even have us win with Cameron. I almost lost it all with Cameron. So here I am with Pickleball Pam, and I'm like, okay, I'll just try not to lose. First thing she does is she says, "I refuse to play with you if you're playing with that racket." She shows me her racket, and it's like this Benjamin Franklin Jones, and she's like, "Oh, do you know who Ben Franklin Jones is? Or Franklin Ben Jones, someone, right?" And I was like, "Oh no," and she's like, "Well, he's the best pickleball player in the world, and I have his racket, and it's $150 or something, right? This racket is honeycombs on it, it was." So she was like, "This is my racket. You should go out and buy a racket like this." And I was like, okay. And then one of the guys is like, "Oh, I have an extra racket." And she's like, "Okay, give him the extra racket, and then we can play." So I was like, okay, she won't play with me if I don't have a decent racket. So I guess I'll try out this new racket. And she's serving first. And I'm up there, and she's not serving. So I'm just kind of sitting there. And apparently, I turn around, and she's going like this to me. She's like, "I won't serve it unless you're behind the line." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And she's like, "It's because you have to let it bounce after the first serve. And if you're too far up, they're going to be able to smash it on you, and it's not going to be good." And so I was like, "Oh, okay." So the strategies I don't know. Long story short, I get owned by Pickleball Pam, and we lose 11-2. It was bad. It was so bad. And every single time we missed a point, she'd be like, oh, it was like Pickleball Pam rage. Like she was about to Karen on me. And she said a few things. I've got tough skin, but gosh, I got into my car after that and I almost cried. Like Pickleball Pam, like she was destroying my spirits. And it was fun to play with the other guys. They understood like I'm not good. But Pickleball Pam, she just came from her tournament. She probably won the tournament. She's coming over here to play a nice game with, you know, the young little lads. And I make her lose 11-2. But she was like, had zero mobility. Like she couldn't really like, she, you know, she's old. She's like 60, 70. But she would be like, pa, 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 all the spins and stuff. And I was like over here, like, I did not know what to do. But then I went to class and I can't stop thinking about Pickleball Pam and how demoralizing that was and how it doesn't matter if I'll be an optometrist at the end of optometry school anymore. It only matters that one day I'll be able to make Pickleball Pam proud and win some pickleball tournaments for her. So that's all I can think about. My legs are still sore from this experience like a week ago. But just if you're hearing this story, yes, I'm letting you know it's a rough pickleball world out there. You got to train hard. You don't want to look like a noob out there. So if anyone looking to play pickleball for fun, don't.